of the former CBN governor, while testifying in court, narrated how Emefiele allegedly approved the payment of $6.2 million in cash for international election observers in the 2023 general election.
The right thing to do is to reject the prescriptions of two issues that are not being addressed. Is that there is a group of countries, there are countries in the world today, suggesting that we should charge you for money laundering.
Meanwhile, everybody in Nigeria are crying out there, oh, there is hunger in the town, oh, this, that, oh, this is happening, oh, this is happening. But unfortunately, do you know that just recently they just recovered? No, it's not even recovered. They are accusing the Sgf of $6 million embezzlement. The Sgf under Buhari regime. When I hear a story like this, my head went agog. Like, okay, let me not just throw more light about it. Let's watch this video together whereby Oji Okpe, that of the Arise TV news presenter, analyzed the whole issues and the 2 cents about Abati Ruben gave about it. We'll be right back to do some messages to the video.
Former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, on Tuesday, while testifying in the trial of former Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, said that the signature of ex-President Muhammadu Buhari was forged by those who withdrew $6.2 million from the Central Bank of Nigeria on February 8, 2023, to pay international election observers. On Monday, Michael Ogbu, the first prosecution witness in the ongoing trial of the former CBN governor, while testifying in court, narrated how Emefiele allegedly approved the payment of $6.2 million in cash for international election observers in the 2023 general election. He said the money was given out in cash to an official from the office of the Sgf named Jubril Abubakar, following approvals by President Buhari after the request was made by the Sgf. Boss Mustapha told the court that his signature was also forged, adding that he knew nothing about the money reported to have been withdrawn for the payment of the foreign election observers. I mean, this story was quite alarming. I mean, it's still in court. People are saying, all this money people are sharing in Nigeria, what is going on? In the meantime, senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, in a video that has now gone viral, alleged that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration distributed a staggering 135 billion naira to governors for COVID-19 in December 2023. The SAN was speaking during the 18th annual memorial anniversary in honor of Dr. Ransom Kuti. Femi Falana went further to unveil damning money-sharing practices among governors, raising concerns about financial transparency and accountability in the current administration.
In December 7, this regime, Tinubu administration, gave out 135 billion naira to governors to fight COVID-19 in 2023. Do you know what I'm talking about? Last December, they gave out 123 billion. Not 135, you can go. To fight COVID-19. Furthermore, and this must be our demand from here. This regime must, and if we have to go to the street, it's so fundamental. This regime must, comrade, must.
Yes.
Warehouse the gains of the removal of fuel subsidy and channel it towards alleviating the poverty of our people.
Femi Falana there, a great advocate. He's been speaking so, robustly about transparency and accountability. Even the idea of this, the money from the subsidy removal given to, the poor at this point is very important. Only yesterday we talked about Bayo Ononuga saying Nigeria is a very, very poor country. And he was saying that he's hoping that these policies, including the subsidy removal, will help in our financial situation. But you heard all the allegations there by SAN Femi Falana. They were, the most alarming to me was the COVID-19 funds that was distributed in 2020, just last month. Is it?
That was a month ago. Dr. Ransom Kuti's memorial. The main story is about Femi Falana, SCN, asking for transparency and accountability, which is the same thing that we ask for all the time. Now, you know, there is an NGO called Social and Economic Responsibility and Accountability Project, SERAP, that is constantly taking government to court, asking that government's primary duty is to be transparent and accountable. Every month, these state governments go to Abuja and collect money from FAC. The question is, what do they do with the money? Whether it's COVID money or it's any other kind of allocation from the federal government, it's always a problem at the subnational level. And what it means is that we still face this problem of corruption.
Yes.
Now, COVID, I think Mr. Falana is perfectly, on point to have raised questions about COVID disbursements. Look at the UK. After COVID season had passed, they've been asking questions, they've been investigating how was money spent. On one occasion, even Boris Johnson was called back from what looks like retirement to come and explain how money was dispersed. A peer who had recommended a company for some COVID contracts has had to also ask questions about what happened. How did our husband benefit? Our husband's, companies, how did they end up benefiting from contracts that are awarded? The same thing in Scotland. The former First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, and her husband have also had to, ask questions. In Nigeria here, we saw reports of billions of money of COVID centers. What happened to the equipment procured? What happened to the money that illustrious Nigerians contributed? I think a probe of COVID disbursements and expenditure and contributions will be necessary for us to have a closure on this. And it's good that at least one or two persons in the National Assembly had raised, questions in this regard. As for the case in court, yes, well, some of those details, are shocking.
Yes.
That a letter would emanate and the signature of the president will have been forged. And the secretary to the government of the federation saying that the letter did not come from his office. The man who purportedly collected the money does not exist in his office, and that the quality of the letter did not even conform with the standard of the office of the SGF. And yet some people collected $62.6 million. And also foreign election observers are not paid by the Nigerian government.
I mean, have you ever
These
heard
are
of
some of the
anything
issues.
like
But
this?
government is handling it. The
Yes.
Court of Justice Equal has ordered the arrest and the federal of certain persons involved.
Yes.
And the federal government has placed Interpol on notice and identified 3 persons whose names should be placed on red alert
Yes.
because they are at large. As for the other details, the matter is before the court.
COVID-19 that happened between 2019 to 2020, Tinubu, after Buhari, decided to take a lot of money from it. Billions, not millions. 2020 and 2019. Now, 2020, which is 2021, 2022, 2023, December, after 3 years, they decided to take. Now, the way Nigerian government goes into politics to steal money, it's just like you eat and nobody hold each other accountable. Now they are accusing Buhari of Buhari government. The other time, Buhari said he spent nothing less than 24 billion to build hospital in Aso Rock. Now, the hospitals he said he built, just within a 10 minutes of him leaving office, he didn't build it while he was in office so that he would be attending the hospital. 24 billion. That same 24 billion that is spent in that Aso Rock, then Tinubu just recently come back from a medical trip, which is last week here, when he went to France for a medical checkup. He didn't attend the hospital. They spent 24 billion. Before Tinubu came into office, just 3 months or 4 months thereabout before Buhari left office, Buhari spent nothing less than 14 billion to renovate Aso Rock. The same Aso Rock Tinubu just came into power and spent nothing less than 50-something billion for the office. He spent 1-something billion for the office of the First Lady and 2-something billion for the office of Vice, and over lots of billions on his office. Again, now before he left, Buhari left office, Buhari stole or took $800 million set for palliative. Now, but Tinubu came into office again and took, I don't remember, Tinubu took another extra billions upon billions for the same palliative. And I don't really know. I don't know. In all of this, I've not yet accepted their failure or the embezzlement. They are saying, do you think Peter Obi would have done things different? That's what APC government are tweeting all over. Do you think Peter Obi would have done different? Do you think Peter Obi is more better than him? It's a shame on Nigerian government. Now, to round it up, I want you guys to listen, good attention to what Femi Fanana, the senior advocate, which is the human rights activist, said during Channel Television. We'll be right back to do some messages to the video.
I think Niger State, there was a protest. Of course, there have been protests in many parts of the country without my knowledge. And the governor ordered the arrest of the protesters. The APC secretariat has issued a statement to the effect that the protests against the rising cost of living in our country are sponsored by some opposition or named opposition political parties. And all I've said is that it is the duty of Nigerians, it is the right of Nigerians to express themselves either through protest or writing articles or whatever. We fought against obtaining police permit to protest in Nigeria. What the law now says, Section 84 subsection 3 of the Police Establishment Act of 2020 is that during protest, the police shall provide security for the participants in such protests. And I'm saying Nigerians should be allowed to protest against injustice, against inimical economic programs and policies. And it's a legitimate demand. It is therefore a challenge to the government to move speedily to address the complaints of the people and not read political motivation into them.
So wrap up on
the right thing to do is to reject the prescriptions of the IMF and the World Bank. Remove fuel subsidy, float your currency, and so on and so forth, which have never assisted any country to develop. Secondly, the government is dancing around the problems. These circulars by the central bank will not address the crisis in the forex market. Two issues that are not being addressed is that there is a group of countries, there are countries in the world today, insisting that we are not going to be tied to the American dollars. We want to trade among ourselves in our currencies. And those countries are in BRICS. Brazil, India, Russia, China, and South Africa. Others are joining them. Saudi Arabia has joined them, UAE, Ethiopia, Egypt, and others. And Nigeria is not there. We cannot be more Catholic than the Pope. If friends of the West are joining BRICS, why are we not there? So that we can trade. Countries, Nigeria and other countries can trade in their currency. We trade in Naira. The second one, in 2018, Nigeria and China enter into a currency swap agreement for 5 years. And as a government, go back to China and say, please, whereas when we signed that swap agreement in 2018, the volume of trade was in the area of $3 billion or thereabout. Last year, we imported goods worth $22 billion from China, even though we only exported goods of about $1.6 billion. Now, we should tell the Chinese, please, we need to increase. Because that agreement will expire in July. We need to renew the agreement. We need to renegotiate the agreement. And then the final one, Sean, is remittances. It's about $25 billion. Where are the remittances? In 2017, I had to drag Mr. Godwin Emefiele to the EFCC when he said only $2.6 billion was coming to Nigeria. He said no. And what did he do then? Is to ask you, if you have sent some money from abroad, you have to go and collect naira. So the dollar component stayed abroad. And I said, no, this is fraudulent. And the FCC said, Mr. Emefiele, if you insist, this lawyer is insisting that we should, suggesting that we should charge you for money laundering. And at the end of the day, the central bank said, no, please collect your money in the currency to which it was sent, so that you can take it, either you keep it in your domiciliary account or you change it. The central bank is almost reversing that position. So at the end of the day, the remittances will not come to Nigeria, but will stay abroad. So these are what you may call liberal policies. If I had my way, my own radical policy would be that I will sell Nigeria gas and crude oil in naira. Let those who want to buy our product look for naira. And that is how to promote your currency. But this business of everybody looking for dollars,
Mr. Falano,
even to pay school fees, you look for dollars. To rent houses, to sell houses, you collect dollars. It doesn't happen unless you dollarize your economy. So these are the issues the government will have to address.
Mr. Falano.
You heard what he said. And if you are a Nigerian, when you keep on hearing what is happening in your country, you have no reason, we have no reason to doubt that if you have every slight opportunity, you should jack back from that country. It's a pity, it's just a pity that Nigerian currency has become so ridiculous to the point that even Ghana, 50 or 100 Ghana cedis is almost about 20,000 naira. Ghana cedis is like dollars in the eyes of Nigeria. I don't really know what is going on. That the Tinubu were just fighting for this office as if he knew what he's going to do. The other day I saw his government tweeting and saying Atiku and Peter Obi should please share ideas with Tinubu on how to govern the country. God. Anyway, for those of you that voted for this man, what is your take about all these things that Tinubu is doing for the past 9 months now, going to 1 year now? I think he was even 10 months in power now. What do you think about him? Do you think that there will be a time things will get better? Because now as it is now, Buhari supposed to be the worst president in the entire world, but unfortunately now Tinubu decided, according to him, that he deserved the Guinness Book of Records for the worst president ever in the entire federation. From Goodluck, fuel was 150, 180, 160, Buhari 200, 250. Tinubu came and put it to 600, 700, 800. Bag of rice from Goodluck was 12,000. Buhari from 25,000 to 40,000. Tinubu is now 80, 70,000 naira. Bag of Smith under Goodluck was 2,005 to 3,000 or sometimes 2,000. Buhari 4,000 to 4,005. Tinubu to 7 to 9,000 now. Things in Nigeria, commodity, food, basic amenities, all of them are beyond minimum wages. What do you guys think? I want you guys to come down, not the average Nigerian, not the poor. How are they surviving during this hardship? If they can't even afford, bag of garri is even more expensive now. How do people even survive in that country, Nigeria? No wonder kidnapping and robbery rituals become so rampant. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Please comment it in the comment section. Until we meet again, remember, we are in this together. This Jagabanti 2027. Until then, we are in this together. We'll continue to share our ideas on how to survive in this country. Remember, we love you, but God love you more. If you love us, please comment your thoughts in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up as well. and share to your platform if you have any, or to your loved ones. All right, we love you. Peace out.